1972 was a year where soul grew deeper, richer, and full of lived emotion. Billy Paul was slow dancing us through bittersweet secrets, and the staple singers were lifting whole cities with gospel groove. These songs didn't just play on radios, they became memories carved into the heart. Number 10, I'll Be Around by the Spinners.
I'll be there, I'll be around.
There's something quietly confident about this one. Not flashy, not loud, but steady, warm, and unwavering. Released in 1972 on Atlantic Records, the Spinners were stepping into a new era after years of searching for their defining sound. Working with the legendary Tom Bell in Philadelphia, they finally found their voice, and this track became their first major hit. What makes it special is that gentle promise at its core.
Though you hold the key, but baby.
Not desperate, not pleading, just a love that says, I'll be here whenever you need me. You can almost picture the scene. A summer block party, windows open, speakers humming, couples swaying slow under streetlight glow.
I'll be around.
It's the kind of soul that doesn't shout. It settles into your bones. The song climbed the charts and helped establish Philly soul as a smooth orchestral cousin to the grit of Detroit and Memphis.
I knew just what to say.
And even today, when it plays, something in the room softens, shoulders relax, hearts remember. If this was soul offering quiet devotion, the next one? Oh, that one burns with a little more edge. Number 9, Use Me by Bill Withers.
You just keep on using me.
Bill Withers had a gift for taking everyday truth and turning it into rhythm. And in 1972, he dropped one of his funkiest confessions.
Still is there appointed duty.
Released on Sussex Records, Use Me came during the peak of his rise, right after the emotional resonance of Ain't No Sunshine and Lean on Me. But this time, Bill wasn't reflecting on heartbreak or community. He was talking about desire, power, and the complicated pleasure of being wanted, even when you know it's messy.
Hey, my big brother.
There's a sly confidence in that groove, led by that hypnotic clavinet line. The song practically walks into the room. And the story? It's one many knew too well. Friends warning you someone isn't good for you, while you just smile because they don't know what you get out of it. Picture it. Late night lounges, bodies leaning in too close, laughter low and smoky. Use Me lived in those rooms, honest, unapologetic, and full of heat. The track shot up the charts and has been sampled, covered, and quoted for decades because Bill said something we rarely say out loud. Love isn't always equal, and sometimes we don't mind.
It ain't too bad the way you using me, 'cause I sure am using.
If this one was all slow burn groove and grown folks honesty, the next track brings the sound of pure sweeping devotion. Number 8, Oh Girl by the Chi-Lites. Here comes the heartache, soft, tender, and almost whispered. Released in 1972 on Brunswick Records, Oh Girl arrived at a moment when the Chi-Lites were shaping Chicago soul into something smoother and more vulnerable than anything else on the charts. At the center was the emotional tremor of lead singer Eugene Record's voice. That delicate strain that sounded like a man holding himself together by a thread.
I don't know where to look for love. I just don't know.
This wasn't a breakup anthem filled with shouting or blame. No, This was the sound of someone admitting how much it hurts to imagine love slipping away.
Me, what am I gonna do? I know
You can almost picture someone sitting on the edge of a bed in the early morning, tie undone, trying to figure out how everything got so fragile. The harmonica cries like memory itself, thin, aching, and unforgettable. The song hit #1 on both the pop and R&B charts, proving that vulnerability could be powerful. And even now, when "Oh Girl" comes on, it feels like someone opening a journal they never meant to read aloud. If this was quiet heartbreak laid bare, the next one brings faith, freedom, and a whole lot of uplift. Number 7, "I'll Take You There" by the Staple Singers. This one is pure sunlight. Released in 1972 on Stax Records, "I'll Take You There" arrived right when America was aching for healing, and the Staple Singers answered with something that felt both spiritual and deeply soulful.
I know a place.
Mavis Staples' voice carries a grounded strength here. She doesn't push, she guides, like a hand on the shoulder, warm and steady. The story behind the track is as meaningful as the sound. The Muscle Shoals rhythm section, those legendary Southern session musicians, laid down the groove in just a few takes.
All right.
No overthinking, no polish, just pure feeling, and you can hear it. The bass line walks like a Sunday parade, and the call and response feels like a whole community rising together. This wasn't just a chart hit. Though it did reach #1, it became an invitation, a promise that better days, better love, better peace were possible. For many, this song was church, whether they ever stepped into a sanctuary or not. If this one lifted our spirits to the sky, the next track sinks deep into the shadows of longing. Number 6, "Me and Mrs. Jones" by Billy Paul.
Me and Mrs. Jones.
Now we step into the quiet corners, where love is real, complicated, and far from simple. Released in 1972 on Philadelphia International Records, this ballad was shaped by the legendary duo Gamble and Huff, who understood that sometimes the deepest stories are whispered, not shouted. Billy Paul sings with the weight of a man caught between desire and consequences, and every note carries that tension like a sigh.
Why would you play a favorite song?
The setting is intimate, a smoky cafe, the same booth, the same time. Two people who know what they're doing isn't easy, but they can't turn away. Billy's vocals rise and fall like someone trying to talk themselves into leaving, even as their heart won't let go. The strings drift, the horns lean in, and you feel the whole world slow just to listen.
Much too strong to let it go now.
The song reached #1 and became an instant classic because it acknowledged something soul music rarely spoke aloud then. Love can be messy, tangled, and impossibly human, and yet it can still be beautiful. If that was the sound of love you shouldn't have, the next song is all about the love you fight for. If these classics from 1972 are bringing back memories, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. It helps keep the soul alive here on the channel. And stay with me. We've still got 5 unforgettable tracks to go. Number 5, "Let's Stay Together" by Al Green. Here we are, the moment where love doesn't just survive, it glows. Released in late '71 but defining the soul sound of 1972, Let's Stay Together found Al Green at the height of his gentle power. He wasn't a belter or a shouter. He was a soother, a man who made devotion feel warm as skin and soft as silk.
You make me feel.
Behind him, producer Willie Mitchell in the High Records rhythm section crafted a sound that was tender but confident, built on gentle organ swells, brushed drums, and that signature horn glide.
Let me be the one you cry.
This was soul that didn't need to raise its voice to be heard. It whispered right to the heart. And there's something universal here. Weddings, reunions, Sunday morning cleaning, long drives with the windows down. This song lives in the moments where love makes everything feel a little lighter.
That to me would do, babe.
It hit #1 for a reason. We all wanted to believe in what Al was promising. If this was love held together by tenderness, the next one is love tangled in fire and regret. #4, If You Don't Know Me By Now, by Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes. This one is a lesson wrapped in velvet. Released in 1972 on Philadelphia International Records, it introduced many listeners to the soaring, pleading voice of Teddy Pendergrass. Still early in his rise, not yet the solo icon he would become. And here, he wasn't just singing, he was testifying. Every note sounds like a man who has given all he can and is now standing in the quiet doorway of love, just asking to be understood.
To upset our happy home. Oh, don't get so.
The recording carries the unmistakable Gamble and Huff polish, strings sweeping like late-night thoughts, piano chords settling like heavy emotion. The lyrics speak to something many couples know too well. Love isn't just romance, it's patience. It's seeing someone clearly, even when they're flawed.
Just trust in me. Like
And Teddy sings it like the truth is breaking through his chest. When this song played on radios and in living rooms, couples paused because they knew that feeling. The song became a staple of slow dances, quiet reconciliations, and moments where someone had to say, if you really know me, then trust me. It went on to define Philadelphia soul's emotional depth. If this track was love holding on through the storm, the next one walks through heartbreak already blooming into funk and freedom. #3, I Gotcha by Joe Tex. Now the groove snaps back, sharp, swaggering, and full of attitude. Released in 1972 on Dial Records, I Gotcha showed Joe Tex at his most playful and electric. He'd always been a storyteller, half preacher, half comedian, half blues man. But here, he's a full-on performer, working that rhythm like it owes him money. The track opens with that signature grab your attention shout, and suddenly you're right in the middle of a dance floor. Sweat on your shoulders, shoes sliding across polished wood, smiles all around. This wasn't the soft romance of Philly. This was Southern soul with hips, grit, and a wink. Joe delivers the verses like he's leaning in close, teasing, flirting, not taking heartbreak too seriously because he knows he'll bounce back. I Gotcha was originally written for another artist, but when Joe Tex stepped up to the mic, everything locked into place. The record shot to #1 on the R&B charts and became one of his biggest hits. Not because it was sweet, but because it was alive. A song about taking your power back. about saying, yeah, you thought you had me, but look who's smiling now. It lives on in dance floors, DJ crates, movie soundtracks, and those moments when someone finally remembers their worth. If this one was about standing up strong, the next track is about falling apart. Beautifully. Number 2, Lean on Me by Bill Withers.
We all need somebody to lean.
There are songs that play in the background of life, and then there are songs that hold us together. Released in 1972 on Sussex Records, Lean on Me came from a deeply personal place.
Sometimes in our life,
Bill Withers had grown up in a small coal mining town in West Virginia, a place where neighbors were family and everyone shared what little they had. When he moved to Los Angeles and found himself surrounded by distance and city noise, he wrote a song for the community he missed.
somebody to lean.
The recording is simple on purpose. Piano steady as a heartbeat, a melody that feels like childhood, and Bill's voice carrying that warm, familiar strength. It's the sound of someone placing a hand on your back and saying, "You don't have to do this alone."
Lean on me.
And the world heard it. The track went straight to number 1 and became an anthem at graduations, church services, funerals, family reunions, and quiet nights when someone just needs someone. It isn't dramatic. It isn't complicated. It's human. And that's why it still brings eyes to the edge of tears and hearts a little closer together.
We all need somebody to lean.
If this was the sound of community, of holding each other up, then number 1 is something even more unforgettable. A soul masterpiece etched into the very fabric of the 1970s. Number 1, Papa Was a Rollin' Stone by The Temptations. This one didn't just play in 1972, it haunted the year. Released on Motown's Gordy label, Papa Was a Rollin' Stone was where The Temptations stepped fully into their psychedelic soul era with producer Norman Whitfield steering the ship.
I never got a chance to see him. Never.
The song stretched over 12 minutes on the album. A slow, smoky build of bass, strings, wah-wah guitar, and that steady hi-hat pulse. It felt less like a song and more like a storm rolling in across a city skyline. The narrative is powerful. A child asking his mother about the father who was more myth than man. But the brilliance is in the space. The long instrumental passages create tension. They give memory room to breathe. Dennis Edwards delivers the lead with a raw edge, as if the questions still sting. This wasn't just soul. It was storytelling, theater, and cinematic atmosphere all at once. The track won 3 Grammys and remains one of Motown's boldest artistic risks. The kind of song that changes what music can be.
And mama, some bad talk going around town saying that Papa.
And even now, when it plays, time slows. Heads nod. Eyes look back at memories we don't always say out loud. From tender confessions to electric funk. From Sunday uplift to late night longing. 1972 gave us soul that lived in the body and the heart.
Mama, folks say Papa never was much on thinking.
These songs didn't just chart, they grew roots. They followed us into weddings, breakups, road trips, reunions, and quiet evenings where the world felt heavy and music knew just what to say. Thanks for joining me on this stroll through one of soul's richest years. Your presence keeps this music alive. If you felt something today, subscribe to Keep the Groove Alive so we can travel together through every soulful year still waiting to be remembered. Up next, 10 R&B songs from 1965 we'll never forget. Click the end screen and let's keep the rhythm rolling.